The best one-set all-terrain tire has to survive a very specific kind of honesty test. It has to make sense in summer rain, fall cold, winter mornings, road trips, errands, rough pavement, and the occasional dirt road detour without needing to be swapped out the moment the season changes. That is the trap with all-terrain shopping in general. The category makes it easy to chase the most dramatic sidewall, the most aggressive tread pattern, or the brand with the loudest reputation, but those things do not automatically translate into the best ownership experience. That is why the focus here puts year-round usefulness at the center. The best tire here is not just good in one season. It is the one that sounds hardest to catch making a bad trade somewhere else. So the strongest picks are the ones that still feel believable when rain, cold mornings, road trips, and changing seasons all hit the same set of tires. A true year-round tire has to survive heat, rain, cold mornings, and the daily grind without making you wish you had swapped to something else months ago. That is a harder brief than most all-terrains can satisfy. Stay with me, because the tire at the top is the one that sounds easiest to live with through a full year of mixed weather. At number 6, General Grabber ATX lands here because year-round practicality is one of the core reasons people buy it in the first place. General offers the Grabber ATX with up to a 60,000-mile warranty, severe snow certification, and a 45-day trial. Its reputation is less about hype and more about honesty. Decent winterability, usable road manners, and enough durability to make sense for trucks and SUVs that work during the week and wander off pavement on the weekend. It works well for owners who want winter certification, dependable everyday manners, and enough toughness for bad roads and light off-pavement use without turning the truck into a specialty build. That is the kind of difference drivers notice after the first few thousand miles when the daily reality matters more than the sales pitch. That honest all-season usefulness is exactly why it feels realistic as a true one-set solution instead of a seasonal compromise. What keeps it from climbing higher is the 5 tires above it sound more complete once weather, comfort, and broad road use confidence all get weighed together. As a true one-set option, it still holds together well for drivers who want fewer seasonal compromises. The next tire takes that one-set idea and leans more deliberately into road manners. At number 5, Continental TerrainContact. That T lands here because a true year-round tire has to be easy to live with for most of the year. Not just the dramatic parts Continental and Tire Rack, both frame the TerrainContact AT as an on-road, all-terrain first. It carries a 60,000-mile warranty and a strong owner feedback story built around wet traction, comfort, and calm road behavior over millions of reported miles. That is why it shows up so often when the buyer cares more about livability than image alone. It is especially strong for buyers who spend a lot of time on wet roads and highways, still want an all-terrain look and some weather flexibility, and prioritize calm daily behavior over pure rugged image. That matters most once the tire has to live through commutes, weather swings, and all the unglamorous miles that expose a weak choice fast. That road-first maturity is a major strength when one tire has to cover all 12 months. For owners who do not want to keep second-guessing their tire choice every season, that is a big plus. The only thing holding it back is the top 4 still sound stronger once winter depth and broader mixed surface identity come back into the conversation. That still leaves it as a very believable choice for the buyer it fits best. The next tire adds more all-terrain flavor without giving up the year-round theme. Number 4, Yokohama Geolandar AT4 lands here because it sounds like a polished all-terrain that can stay on the truck all year without making the owner regret the decision in normal life. Yokohama backs the Geolandar AT4 with up to a 65,000-mile warranty on Eurometric sizes and 55,000 miles on LT sizes, along with severe snow certification. That makes it interesting for year-round use because it pairs real winter headroom with a smoother, quieter road character than many tougher-looking rivals. It suits drivers who want a smoother, quieter road feel than old-school all-terrain tires usually offer, but still want weather certification and enough off-pavement utility to justify the category. That is where a tire stops being a nice idea on paper and starts proving whether it actually fits the life of the vehicle. That broad, modern livability is a huge plus when one set of tires has to do every season. That is what gives it a clear audience, instead of making it just another all-terrain option. If that is where your priorities land, this tire makes a lot of sense. The reason it stops here is the top 3 bring even stronger year-round flexibility or tougher winter confidence. It still deserves attention from drivers trying to cover wet roads, dry roads, and light winter use on one set, and those 3 all make that year-round case in slightly different ways. At number 3, BFGoodrich All-Terrain TA KO3 lands here because strong winter traction and a deeply trusted all-terrain identity make it a very believable one-set option. BFGoodrich gives the KO3 a 50,000-mile warranty and the evolved reputation of one of the segment's most trusted off-road names. Recent winter-focused testing treated it very seriously, especially for snow traction, which helps separate it from aggressive-looking rivals that sound better in marketing than in ugly weather. It still feels like a toughness-first tire, but it has more real-world flexibility than many people expect. It is a smart pick for buyers who value cold-weather confidence and tougher durability enough that they are willing to accept a more rugged tire in exchange for all-season seriousness. That detail matters because real ownership is about how the tire behaves after the novelty is gone and the ordinary miles take over. That winter and hard use credibility matter a lot when the tire never comes off the vehicle. That is why the appeal here feels specific rather than generic. That alone is enough to put it on the shortlist for the right buyer. It comes up just short because the top two sound easier to justify to a broader range of year-round drivers. That does not erase the case for it. It just defines who it suits best. One of those is the broad all-rounder, and the winner looks even more complete than that. At number 2, Toyo Open Country AT3 lands here because it is one of the safest all-round answers for someone who wants one set to cover almost everything. Toyo gives the Open Country AT3 up to a 65,000-mile warranty, depending on size, and backs it with the severe snow symbol. That is exactly why it keeps sounding like a credible one-set answer for drivers who want wet road confidence, winter readiness, and decent road manners all at once. It fits drivers who want broad wet road confidence, winter usefulness, daily manners, and enough off-pavement legitimacy to feel like they are not buying a watered-down compromise. That becomes important once the tire has to deal with normal roads, rough patches, changing weather, and the kind of use no brochure can smooth over. That broad competence is exactly what one-set ownership is supposed to look like. That is what makes the one-set promise sound believable. For drivers who do not want seasonal second-guessing, it lands the right way. It lands here because Falken brings a similar breadth with slightly stronger current momentum and value perception. If you want one dependable set for the whole year, both make real sense. At number 1, Falken Wildpeak, a T4W lands here because it sounds like the most complete all-year answer once comfort, weather, and real all-terrain use all matter together. Falken gives the Wildpeak a T4W up to a 65,000-mile warranty on non-LT sizes and 60,000 miles on LT sizes, plus severe snow certification and road hazard coverage. That year-round credibility matters because the tire keeps sounding refined on pavement while still ready for weather and rougher routes. It is the best choice for buyers who want to install one set and stop thinking about whether they picked too soft, too loud, too specialized, or too compromised of a tire. That is exactly the sort of thing owners feel later, when the road gets rough, the weather shifts, and the tire has to justify itself without excuses. The warranty support, winter credentials, comfort story, and test results all point in the same direction for year-round use. That is why it makes more sense than a lot of flashier options for the driver it is built to suit. If that trade-off sounds right to you, the fit is easy to picture. The case weakens only when there is no higher place to put it, when the goal is one tire that can stay mounted all year and still feel like the right call. That trade-off will not bother everyone, especially if the tire's main strengths match what you need most. That is why it finishes first in this specific category. So the order comes together like this: General Grabber ATX, Continental TerrainContact T, Yokohama Geolandar AT4, BFGoodrich KO3, Toyo Open Country AT3, and Falken Wildpeak AT4W on top. Year-round ownership is really about avoiding weak seasons. A tire can be fantastic in summer and still become a mistake once rain, cold, or light winter weather shows up. The best one-set answer is the one that keeps making sense no matter what month is on the calendar. That also explains why the right answer changes from driver to driver. Some owners care most about quiet highway miles. Others put winter grip, tougher looks, towing confidence, or long-term value first. Falken lands strongest here because it sounds like the easiest one-set solution to trust across changing weather, mixed roads, and everyday mileage. A true one-set tire has to survive heat, rain, cold snaps, and normal daily miles without forcing you into a seasonal compromise every few months.